Sean, you want to go with me? Why?
From your perspective now, as you look at our society right at this moment, we have a lot of unemployed people. We have a lot of a lot of homeless people, a great deal of inequity as far as the wealth is concerned. How can democracy use the experience of what's gone on in the labor movement from the socialist point of view, perhaps, to effect change? Or
well, I think what it is that, for instance, I mean, this is the best time to talk about it, but the thing that happened with Rodney King, the decision that was made is probably not made because the people were racist, that the jurors didn't make the decision because they, well, I don't like a black guy. I think it was more the fact that they're more middle class. They moved into a middle class neighborhood, and the middle class are the people that want the protection from the police and want the police to be believed. And if you and that's one way to get it, by, you know, voting for, well, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. They need to get this person who's drunk. They need this, they need him off the road. And I mean, you have to give them that. Things like that are going to continue to happen. When things like that continue, you see what's happening in LA right now. The reason it's total chaos there is because there's no guidance. There's nobody to hold them. And that's why people are just getting killed. I mean, it's terrible what's happening. And it's not right.
so how does socialism impinge on that?
Socialism explains it.
Okay.
And it tries to make a unity between groups, because they're saying it's not black on white thing. It's a social, it's poor and rich thing. They're saying that, you see, there was an Asian and there was two Mexicans or Latinos on the jury, and they decide the same way. It's not because all the groups just had a conspiracy against the Rodney King, but it was because they're all middle class. They moved into a middle class neighborhood, and that's a big problem. They say there's political reasons they don't want to do it in L.A. County, but that's a huge thing to when you have. It seems like the most problems are really between the social classes, and not really, even though the race it just hides itself under racism.
So you think that socialism might give democracy
well, it might give unity to groups to make democracy.
Work. That's an interesting thought.
Well, because you see, I mean, people, for instance, they say, you know, get Jerry Brown because he'll get Jesse Jackson, and Jesse Jackson will get black votes. But it's not really, you need to find somebody who's going, I mean, Bill Clinton got a lot of middle-class black votes. It's not because he said he was going to get Jesse Jackson. He said it's because he had middle-class ideas that these middle-class blacks believed in. And so it's not a racial thing, it's socially what people want. And that's how, if you can unite a peoples under, say, the lower class, or the lower middle class, or the middle class, then the lower class is usually the largest, then you would get democracy, because then if they're united under ideas, and with no racism, they're all split up because everybody believes that this white person is going to take my job, this Jew's going to take my job, this Mexican is going to take my job. And if you had everybody united, then there would be democracy, because then the majority would get their idea, what they want, across into the government.
Maggie?
I wanted to ask you, before you started, when you first started your internship, now I know you're excited about it, but what, if anything, did you feel intimidated by, or what was fearful, if anything?
Well, I had no idea what the stock market really was. All I knew was that there was New York Stock Exchange, and I was downtown by Wall Street, and, you know, they would buy and sell stocks for their clients. I didn't know, like, how much money was involved, or how much you can get into it mentally, and I don't know, I just, like when you watch like movies like Wall Street, it's like a whole different aspect of it. They really never show like the life of a sales assistant or the life of a secretary, which is like kind of equivalent to a sales assistant. And I think that when I went to this office, I was like, wow, you know, I never knew all this, and it was like just rushing into my head all at once. And I think that's why I kind of motivated myself to learn this as quick as I could, because if I wanted to continue working there, then I would need to pick everything up. And I think that when I tell people that I work at Lehman Brothers, it's like Lehman Brothers. So it kind of pushed me to really like get a stable position in the firm. Therefore, you know, because like when I want to go to college or if I want to go and work at another firm or something, when they look at my resume, they can say Lehman Brothers and they can call, and I won't have like a bad report on myself. They'll be like, you know, she's a wonderful worker, and you know, she really goes, and when you need to tell her what to do, she just jumps and does it by herself. So, I don't know. I think that I've grown a lot mentally and physically within the firm.